Right now. Right now. Go right there.
All right, one sec, family. Let me share this live stream. All right, family. How y'all feeling today? Everybody good? All right, today's lesson is entitled The Power of Love. All right. Power of love. Power of love. Who knows how powerful love is? By show of hands. Chad know. Chad, he know. He like, I know. What inspired this lesson today was the fact that when I look around Israel, it's a lot of hate in Israel. A lot of hate, man. I can speak for myself. You know, one thing that I can say that not necessarily that the Christians do better than us because they still faking it. But one thing that it can appear that they do better than us is they love better than us. All in the nation of Israel, it's a lot of arguing, it's a lot of fighting, it's a lot of cussing you out, it's a lot of just vulgar situations going on. It's a lot of animosity in the nation of Israel. And that animosity is not according to the will of the Most High God. So what we want to do is we want to establish what love really is and how powerful love is. It's a lot. See, that's what happens in any society, right? If you don't have love as your chief engine, think about it. If love is not your forefront, can a nation really thrive? Why not, Calvin? Why can't a nation really thrive if love is not your forefront? You said what?
Too busy being selfish.
So would you say being selfish, that's not a trait of love?
You ain't loving someone if you're being selfish.
How can you love somebody if you're selfish? Can you love somebody if there's envy? Can you love somebody if there's jealousy? That's what we're going to go into today. It's a lot of envy. It's a lot of jealousy in the nation of Israel. And you can just see it. Look, all you got to do is just get on social media and you can see the climate of what Israel is in right now. Instead of us pushing more love, you know what? And there's even a term that Hebrews will call you. They'll call you a Christian. Are you a Christian? No, brother, I'm not a Christian. I love. You got to love. What is love? What is that? What does that look like? What does that feel like? I remember when we came into the truth, when I came into the truth, I found out it was okay to hate. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? You can hate? For real? I can hate? Yeah, you can hate, brother. Oh. I took off and ran with that. You know, it's a lot of in Israel. So what? You a punk? Man up. Sometimes it's not profitable to be like that in Israel. Sometimes you got to see other sides. Sometimes you got to have compassion for your brother. Sometimes you got to have compassion for your sisters. There's a lot of tearing down of the sisters too. A lot of that. There's a balance that has to be shown within Israel. I see somebody on YouTube. YouTube says love is correction. Love is following the commandments. Absolutely. But a thing that brothers take that scripture in John 14:15 and says love is only keeping the commandments. So if I keep the commandments, I automatically love you. No, that's not true. I'm gonna give clarity on that today. That's what brothers always do. They run to that scripture. Love is only keeping the commandments. Absolutely, you're right. Love is keeping the commandments. But how can you say you keeping the commandments when you cussing the nation of Israel out? or when you cussing your woman out, or when you cussing your brother out, and when you ridiculing your brothers, every left and right, you're ridiculing your people. That's not what the commandments teach that we have to do. I'm going to show you something. We're going to get a matter of fact. Let's get that. John 14:15. What's up, brother? You want a chair? There's a chair right here. There you go. Take the chair right here. Let's go to John 14:15 real quick. Love is keeping the commandments, brother. That's all I got. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm keeping the commandments. It is what it is. Man up.
John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments.
See, that brother's soft. That brother, man, he's soft. Be a man, brother. Love is just keeping the commandments. So what if I hurt your feelings? So what if I talk to you like you was less than? So what if I offended you? And sometimes those things are going to happen, but we have to know how to redirect the energy when we have disputes and love each other enough to have conversations. Why can't we have conversations in Israel? I don't never see brothers really having a loving conversation. We run to YouTube or Facebook and we ridicule brothers day and night. Some brothers won't even give you a proper phone call. Get on your head. Don't even know what's going on. Get on your head without going to your brother, talking to your brother, man. That's not love. I'm going to show you. We're going to show you in the scriptures what love is. Love is power. Why? Because that one word can single-handedly bring breath back into the nation of Israel. And we're going to show you, according to the scriptures, what love looks like and what love does not look like according to the scriptures. There's too much hate within the nation of Israel right now. And to be honest with you, it's sickening. It's too much hate. It's too much anger. It's too much malice. It's too much division. Those things do not bring forth the love of Christ. So let's get this. Let's establish something right now. Let's get Ecclesiastes, 3 and 8. Let's establish this real quick. Let's establish something.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8.
And a brother just said, can I get a moderator real quick? The brother asks, what's our phone number? Can we give him the Isaiah? I see where you asked what's our phone number. I'm gonna have a brother give you our email, Believers of the Way. All right, I'm gonna have a brother send you our email, Believers of the Way, 144. Just Lob, if you can send the email. Yeah, I'm gonna have a brother post the email, and then you can get in contact with us through our email, and then I can give you my contact, Isaiah. Yeah, the Gmail. Yeah. All right. 3 and 8.
3 and 8. 8. You want me to read 1 and then drop down to verse 8?
Nah, you can just get to the point.
A time to love and a time to hate.
So there's a time to love. Everybody, unless go ahead. Let's see. Maybe it might be somebody that don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, then drop down to verse 8. To everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under the heaven.
So to everything there is a season, and there's a time for every purpose under heaven. Okay. Now let's go to verse 8.
Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate.
It is a time to love and it is a time to hate. Yes, it is a time to hate. Absolutely. I'm not telling you that it ain't going to be a time where you got to do what you got to do and reject. Because, you know, if you look into that word hate, it just means to reject. Absolutely. There is a time. If a brother is completely moving in wickedness, absolutely. We hate that. Most High says he hates sinners. We got that. Most High said he hate Esau. We got that. But then it also says that there's a time to love. Why do we miss that part? Brothers miss that part. You know, you can misuse scriptures. The scriptures are very dangerous because, yes, the scriptures can give life, but the scriptures can also bring forth death. That's why the Most High said, choose you this day who you will serve. So if you got a brother that got a hateful heart towards his brother and he's scripted in these scriptures, he can finagle the scriptures and have you thinking, we got to hate this brother. Because a brother got hate in his heart for his brother, he can use the scriptures and try to make it seem and justify his hate towards his brother. That's dangerous. Yes, absolutely. Did not Esau use the scriptures to justify, which he was in a sense justified because we went off, absolutely. But for context and for understanding purposes, Esau used the Bible and only one half of it to make the slaves okay with slavery. No, don't fight back. Slaves cannot disobey their masters. Did not Esau do that? Esau used the Bible to enslave you. So you can use the Bible. There's brothers right now that use the Bible to get women. They use the Bible to trick women and lay with them. And the sisters stop. There's brothers out there that do that. You got brothers that got whoremongering spirits and they use the Bible to fulfill their lust. Yeah, it's out there. Absolutely. The Bible can be used for evil if you know how, if you want to. You can use the Bible for evil. Yeah. So you got to be careful. Just because you have a Bible does not mean that you're right automatically. Does not the white man have a Bible? Does not Christians have a Bible? The Bible is the #1 selling book in the world. So it's not enough that you have the Bible. Did not the Pharisees know the law? That's one of the biggest examples. The Pharisees knew the law, but didn't they use the law for their own gain? Didn't Christ say, do as they say, but don't do as their works? They knew the law. Didn't they try to condemn Christ with the law? Absolutely. Many times. So that shows you that the Bible can be used for corruption. Absolutely. If a person is skilled in this word and he has evil intent, he can use the Bible to make it. Look, you got pastors right now using the Bible to get millions of dollars. They using the Bible and buying $1 million jets. So it's not enough for you to say you believe in the Bible. I need to see your works. And we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it today. So the scripture says it's a time to love. It's a time to hate. Let's read. Keep reading. Let's finish that up.
A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace.
So yes, this is not to say, we're going to let our enemies slap us in the face and all that. No, it's a time for war. Absolutely. But it's a time for peace too. It's a time to hate. Absolutely. And it's a time to love too. Understand? So love is powerful though. I don't think brothers understand just how powerful love is. Love is very, very, very powerful. We're gonna go through it today. Let's get Matthew 22 and 39. Let me set this stage too. Because when you talk like this, people automatically think that I'm dealing specifically with my nation right now. The other nations, it's impossible to love a nation that hates you. I'm dealing with my nation right now. We need to spread love within our nation. So I want to bring this precept out. Let's get Matthew 22:39.
And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. So the scripture says, this is what Christians will pull out with no context. They'll say, yeah, see, so you got to love everybody. But who's thy neighbor? Give me a precept. Who got a precept to prove that?
Leviticus 19.
There you go. Look at Cal. Real quick on the gun today. 19 and what, Cal? Y'all get it out. You read it.
All right, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
Oh, yeah. Who's coming? Go ahead.
It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Thou shalt not what?
Hate thy brother in thy heart.
Right. Thy brother in thy heart. Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor,
Uh-huh.
and not suffer sin upon him.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
The children of who?
Thy people.
So who's your neighbor? Your people, your brother. Israelites is your people. Absolutely. So it's a lot of, look, the other nations don't need love right now. The other nations need to be destroyed right now because, like I said, for the other nations, it's time to hate them because they wicked. But you know who it's time to love? It's time to love Israel. We need to love Israel. It's not time to tear down Israel. It's time to build Israel back up. We have to love Israel. And amongst our nation right now, it's a bunch of hate, like a bunch of hate, a bunch of envy, a bunch of malice, a bunch of arguing. But it's not really a lot of love that's being shown. Camp banging, this camp got the truth, this camp don't got the truth, that camp, this nigga is a son of a gun, this nigga is that. this female's a bitch. This female, all you can see all of that in Israel. And if anybody is doing that, it's not right, according to the scriptures. I'm gonna show you what the Most High will command us to do. Let's go to Galatians 5:23. Let me show y'all how powerful it is. Galatians 5:23.
Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 23. You want 22? Yeah, 22.
Hold on, let me see.
Fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah, you can read 22.
But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Now, what does that mean? It says against these attributes, and the main thing I want to focus on is love, right? Because love is the chief principle. Why did the scripture say that against these attributes, there's no law against those things? What does that mean? What is he saying? Anybody?
You can't go wrong if you apply them.
Huh?
You're not breaking the law if you apply them, basically.
Okay, come on.
Like if you're applying that, all of that, you're not breaking the law.
Give me an example of how that works.
Like if you love your brother, you're not gonna sleep with his wife.
Come on. If you love your brother, are you gonna sleep with his wife? If you love your brother, are you gonna backbite and tear him down? If you love your brother, are you gonna hate him and do things to sabotage him? Not gonna do that. If you love your brother, are you gonna whisper to this brother about the brother you love? That brother, nah, see that brother, he did this. You gonna do that? That's not love. The scriptures talk against those things. But if you love your neighbor, you're not gonna do those things. So now, is there any law against love? That was the whole point. Yahweh Shai is trying to tell you something. If you have love in your heart, there's no need for no law in that regard. Because when you have a law, you have a what? Repercussion for breaking the law. But is there any repercussion for love? No. Let's go from there. Let's read 13 and 14. Stay in that same chapter.
Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another.
It says, by love serve one another. Read.
For all the law is filled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
It says we shall love our neighbor as ourselves. It says all the law is fulfilled in this, because when you read the law, what's the base? What's the root of the law? Love. Don't steal from your neighbor. Suffer sin on your neighbor. That's not love either. If you suffer sin on your neighbor, tell your neighbor. That's why, brother, it's another thing. You know, when a brother tell you, you might not like it. Hey, brother, you wrong. Look, I wouldn't be your brother if I didn't tell you was wrong. You might not like it, but if it's to save your life, wouldn't you want? If I was about to get hit by a truck, I want you to scream as loud as you could to make me know that truck was coming. That's love. You trying to save my soul. You know what a brother would do that don't love you? You see that nigga right there? Yeah, that nigga about to sin. I ain't even gonna say nothing now. I'm gonna let that nigga fall. Or you see your brother, he might be going through some things, might be struggling with some things. You should, instead of prejudging your brother, you should call your brother. You should talk to your brother. You should see what's going on with your brother. That's love. Love is perfect. There's no law against it. Somebody step on your shoes, you turn around and he respond, hey man, my bad, I'm sorry about that. How you gonna feel? Oh, it's all right, bro, you straight. Brother step on your shoes, you turn around, you're like, and what?
And what?
How you gonna feel? Go ahead.
And another thing y'all want to highlight, right? When we're reading the Gospels and when we're reading Paul writings, y'all got to go into the history of what was going on at that time. There was so much division among Israel that a lot of times you see in the scriptures, this is the forefront of their topics and discussion is because it was so much hate and malice and division. We're real tribal people, right? Broken down into tribes, broken down into different sectors. So if I'm a member of the Pharisees, I'm a member of the Sadducees, we already like, you know what I'm saying? We already got issues because we got a division already among us. We are Israel, but nevertheless, I'm from this group. And I'm over here, I'm banging this group. I'm on that side. So that was the time. So look, so when Yahushua came and he gave his commissions to his disciples, they were focusing on love because it was none of that. This is what ultimately broke our nation. See, the Romans was not able to take down our nation until we broke ourselves. They went inside out, and then that's when they was able to besiege Jerusalem. Before that, they couldn't besiege us. Remember, they conquered the whole world, and then they got to us, and they had problems because we had unity at first. And we had resistance. We was like, we don't bow down to nobody but the Most High. But then, you know, I mean, you sprinkle here and there, you sprinkle here and there, you sprinkle here and there, then I divide them, divide and conquer. So they've been doing that. But nevertheless, this is some important lesson to learn because Israel is so fixated on their tribe or their little group. You know, when they forget to understand, like, hey, look, man, we gotta love everybody in Israel.
That Sirach, get Sirach real quick. 25:1. Absolutely. We get Sirach. And hold Galatians because we're gonna go back to Galatians. All right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 1.
Watch this, Israel.
In three things I was beautified and stood up.
The Most High said, in three things I was beautified. Stood up, read.
Stood up beautiful, both before the Most High and man.
Both before the Most High and man. So don't we want to do what God like? We want to do what God like. Who don't want to do what God like? I don't. We want to do what God likes, right? So these are three things that the Most High said is beautiful to him. Read.
The unity of brethren.
The unity of brethren. What did he say? The unity of brethren. What else did he say? Read.
The love of neighbors.
The love of neighbors. Well, your neighbor, your brother, right? We just read that in Leviticus, right? Read.
And a man and a wife that agree together.
Now, what do all of these three things have in common? They all affect the nation. You can't say you love Israel, but you hate your brother. It doesn't work like that. You cannot say you love Israel and you hate your neighbor. You cannot say that. Because can you have hate and love at the same time? You got to have one or the other, right? It said the Holy Spirit will flee wickedness. So can you have hate and then the love of the Most High at the same time? No. The Most High just didn't stop it right there with the brothers. He said a man and a woman that agree together. So can you say you love Israel and you having turmoil in your house? You because of hate? Can a woman say she love the Most High and she hate her husband? Can a man say he love the Most High and he hate his wife? So these three things directly do what? They built the nation. What did Esau do? He said divide and what? Conquer. What did he do? He wanted to divide us amongst ourselves. So now we have to love. The scripture says a man that was once tender and delicate. That might be, a brother might look at that and say, oh, that's some soft words. Tender and delicate. Tender and delicate. I ain't tender and delicate. I'm hard. I'm strong. I'm a man. Kwam Yasharala. Ain't that what brothers do? But nah, for real, brothers be doing that. Most High said the man used to be tender and delicate. You understand what I'm saying? Tender and delicate. Brothers be so strong. I remember when I first, had the gift concert. I ain't never gonna forget this. Brothers be so strong and not tender and delicate. I'm like, hey, what's up, brother? Brother looking at me like this. I'm trying to get a brother hug. Brother won't even move. I'm like, you gotta do the salute, brother. I'm like, oh, my bad. I didn't know, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, the brother about to cut my head off. Then at that time I didn't even know the whole salute that good, so I'm all trying to. I'm trying. I'm trying. And then I shake a Jake hand and now you got. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't know. All right. Damn, they don't mean that I hate you the more or the less if I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. Like, goddamn. I'm sorry. I wasn't you from the East Coast. I can tell. I'm not. I'm from the West. I'm just getting this truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look. I'm gonna give you a big hug. You feel me? You feel me? That's how I'm gonna show I love you. You ain't gotta necessarily be all. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta do all of that. You understand? Jace look at you like you didn't sin. Like Jace look at you like you didn't blaspheme the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Just because I didn't know a salute. Because I don't know, the brother can salute you all day and have hate for you in his heart. More than a salute that I want from Jake, I really want a Jake to love me. You understand? That's what we're talking about today. So now let's go back to Galatians 5.
13, 14.
Let's read verse 9.
5 and 9?
Yeah.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 9. It says, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump.
Now, it says a little leavening leaveneth the whole lump. I want you guys, if nothing else I say to you guys stick today, I want you guys to remember this. Right, her hair cover. I want you guys to remember this. What is sin? Let's start off with that. Against the law. Okay. Name me a sin. Name me a sin. Fornication. Stealing. Huh? Pork. Okay. What else? Murder. Okay. What else? Huh? Thank you. Do you know if you just secretly have hate in your heart for your brother, do you know that's murder? See, we don't bring this up. As long as I ain't doing nothing. Yeah, I don't like that brother, but as long as I ain't saying nothing, no. Most High said a little what? So just a little hatred. Well, I just hate him a little bit. You know, F that nigga just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of that. Now what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. And this is the balance, because we're gonna bring the balance out of everything. Like, you can learn a lot from David's story. Did David hate Saul? Nah. But did David avoid Saul? Hell yeah. So I'm not telling you got to sit in the man that want to kill you face. It's just in your heart. You don't want it to consume you in your heart. If a brother really got it out for you, it will be wise. That's Sirach. What's that Sirach? What is that you showed me? And that's Sirach. Oh, 12. 12? Sirach 12. Hold that. Yeah, we'll bring it out in a minute. That was beautiful. Sirach 12 tell you got to watch your enemies. You got to watch your friend. You got to watch these people. You got to prove a friend. Sirach tell you that. There's a balance. But in your heart, that don't mean you hate him. David was sad when Saul died. David wasn't happy. David wasn't like, yes, the Most High finally killed that nigga. No. But David did avoid Saul. David was like, I got to get away from him. This man it says Saul tried to kill David so tough, he tried to throw a javelin at him and pierce him through and through to the wall. Now, how fast and hard did he throw that javelin? It's safe to say David is wise to get away from that individual, right? David didn't see Saul no more after that for the rest of Saul's life. but David never hated Saul. He never spoke evil against him. Even when David could kill him, he cut off his piece of his garment. He was like, man, I could have killed you. But he didn't do that. So it's a balance, right? It's a balance. You got to know when to get away from a person, but you got to make sure that hate doesn't affect you like a cancer. And David is a perfect example of that. David is a perfect example of that. So no, I'm not telling you if a brother clearly got hit the wrong interest for you that you got to be with that. But I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you, you just make sure when you separate yourself, you make sure in your heart you still got, you know what, in my heart, I'm still don't have no issue with none of them. That Jake, him, her, nothing. Because you want the Most High to ride for you. Because what the scriptures say, a little what? Let's read that one more time.
Verse 9. A little leaveneth the whole lump.
Mm-hmm.
I have confidence in you through the Lord, that ye will be none otherwise minded. But he that troubled you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be.
Yeah, that's it. So it says a little leavening, just a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot of leaven. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. It's a little bit. We're gonna get some examples of that. Let's go to Galatians. Let's stay in Galatians. Let's read 5 and 21. Galatians 5 and 21.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 21. Envying, murders, drunkenness.
So now let's read that one more time from the top. I'm sorry.
Envyings, murders, drunkenness.
Envyings. Can anybody necessarily? So what is this telling you? This is telling you envying usually is between a person and his own self until it gets to a point where he let it out. Didn't Saul envy David first? When did the hate for David come with Saul? What happened? It came with women, didn't it? What did he say? He said Saul killed his thousands, David killed his 10,000. Saul was hot. All the women. See, what Saul should have did was Saul should have been like, man, David, man, you got to singing about you, man. Oh, man. You know. Saul didn't do that. Saul was like, secretly in his heart, just because of accomplishment of another brother. And you know what that created? From that little bit of leavening, it almost created murder. Well, it did, because he hated him in his heart, but he tried to kill David. Just that little bit of leaven. Let's keep reading. Watch this.
Verse 21. Envy and murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past.
Watch this.
That they which do these things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
If you have any of these attributes in you, you are not inheriting the kingdom of the Most High. Did y'all hear what I said? If you have any of these attributes in you, you will not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Man, I've been wearing my fringes. I got my beard. You're going to get to the Most High. Man, I got everything, man. I was street teaching. Most High said, yeah, but you had hatred for your brother.
What does reveling mean?
Reveling means like say we put out a decree, like gossip. Because that destroys relationships. So that's like us putting out a decree, right? We put out a decree, and then instead of a brother coming to like the council or the leadership to say he got an issue with that, he'll go and create reveling amongst his close brother. So Lob is my close brother. So what I do, instead of dealing with it with the proper authority or going to a brother that I got an offense to, or let's just say a brother make an offense to me, I'll go to this brother and revel. Yeah, man, that brother, yeah, man. See, that's why that brother, I don't really like that brother, man. Because, yeah, and that brother, he did this, yeah, man. Yeah, and that brother, yeah. And then on top of that, that brother also did this. And then when the brother come around, what's up, Bob? Yeah, reveling is another word for fake. Yeah, that's what they call them to 2020. That's reveling. That's evil. If you have that type of energy, you're not getting into the kingdom of the Most High. How you gonna get into the kingdom of the Most High and you have a reveling spirit? Because reveling, that spirit brings forth what? Challenging things, not wanting to be obedient to. So, Most High, like, I can't have that type of spirit in the kingdom. If you have any of those attributes, how can you go to the kingdom of the Most High? It says none of these things will enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Watch this. Little things that you guys might not realize, like you guys might not realize the little things in your spirit can cause you to miss out on the mark. Just the little things in your spirit. You might do everything outwardly, but inwardly you jacked up. You might be good. I'm good outwardly. Outwardly, you the strongest of the strongest Hebrews, but inwardly you stink. You filthy. Most High said, I don't judge on the outside appearance. What do you judge on? The inside and the heart of a man. The Most High look at the heart of a man. So if your heart is wrong, see, this walk just got that much tougher, because now you have to battle within your own heart and make sure that your heart is not filled with hatred. And I'm going to show you how you will be able to tell if your heart is filled with hatred. And if your heart is filled with hatred, you're not getting the kingdom of the Most High God. You understand? Let's get this. Let's go from there. Let's read Hebrews 12 and 14.
What?
14.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Follow peace with all men.
It says, follow what?
Peace with all men.
Follow peace with all men. So that doesn't mean that you got to go hug all men. That doesn't mean that you got to go and go kiss your enemy on the cheek 1,000 times. Nah, it just means in your heart, you at peace. Was David at peace when he was running from Saul? I'm not saying from him physically running, but in his heart with Saul. Yeah, he was at peace with Saul. You know he was at peace with Saul because he could have ended Saul. But he didn't do that because David was at peace with Saul. Even though David knew to stay away from Saul, David was at peace with Saul. So if Saul would have came around, David would have probably been cautious still. You know what I'm saying? Because David was cautious because when he was supposed to come sit at the king's meat, was David there? Nah, David was cautious. Or David might just be like, you know what? I hear your apology, but I'm gonna still stay over here. But I accept it though. Just know that. But I just, for my own cautiousness sake, I'm gonna stay over here. But just know, we brothers, got you. But in his heart, he was at peace. And in his heart, he didn't let that evil. Because if David would have let that evil resonate in his heart, he would have off Saul when he could have offed him. He didn't do that. Because he understood this. Let's read Hebrews 12 and 14.
Verse 14, he says, follow peace with all men
Uh-huh.
and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
It says, so be at peace with all men with holiness. Sorry. 14. And holies. I'm sorry. Read it one more time.
Verse 14, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Right. So without holiness and without peace, no man shall see the Lord. Right. Read.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High.
Right. How can you fall from the grace of the Most High? Read. Watch this.
Lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble.
Any what?
Any root of
It
bitterness.
says least any roots of bitterness. When it says root of bitterness, where does the root of bitterness come from? Comes out here. It says least any root of bitterness. Read.
Springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
So you not only defiled if you eat pork. Some of y'all, Calvary just held it up the thing. They just got pork in it. No. It's gonna defile me. Some of us, if we see pork, we're like, hell no, I ain't eating that. I ain't defiling myself. But some of us might be defiled with bitterness. The same way you defile yourself with pork, if you got bitterness in your heart, that's the same way the Most High look at you being defiled. The same way you look at a homosexual and you look, he defiled. If you got any bitterness in your heart, the Most High said you defiled the same way. It's deeper than just the outside. You gotta, we look here at BOW, Believers of the Way, Yahweh Shai. We're not trying to just change our outside appearance. We really want brothers and sisters that really want to change their life and change their heart. Seriously. We're going to have moments. We're going to have time. But you know what it is? We just don't want bitterness to control us. We want to really have a body of believers that really are examples of Yahweh Shai. Like truly, it's not enough to try to say that you believe in Jesus Christ. No, we want brothers that really walk like they believe in Jesus Christ. We want brothers that really love. We don't want hate. We don't want malice. We really want love within ourselves, because if you have any bit of hate in you, just a little bit of it, that means that you're defiled. So you know what you should treat? You should treat hatred like you treat not eating pork. You should treat hatred like you would if somebody broke the Sabbath.
That's a fact. We don't, though.
We don't. In Israel, we showed them.
We kind of blink at it.
Go ahead.
So like we kind of take a blind eye and blink at it. And it's funny that, damn, Roger, that's crazy, man. I didn't even think about that. Like, you defiled. The Most High God said when you defile your temple, that's an abomination. What's an abomination, Calvin?
Something disgusting.
Most High is disgusted with you. Just like he's disgusted with Esau. So when you hate your brother, the Most High is disgusted with you. To the point he don't even want to look at you. I gotta get that together, man. That's a different type of time, man. That's a different type of level. When you able to master that, you on a different type of level of being a heathen. These are all outward things. Wearing your beard, your fringes, you know what I mean? Making sure your clothes is 100%, all that. That's cool. But what about loving your brothers, everybody in your nation, even the ones that want to gun you down? And like you said, using wisdom. Look, I'm gonna keep you over there, but I don't hate you.
Facts.
If your wife died, I'm not gonna be like, cool, high five.
Facts.
That's a different type of decorum, and that's what Yahushua had, and that's what we need to follow. Yahushua on his deathbed, right, said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do, Father." They don't know what they're doing. Wink at it.
And you know, using the spirit just now, because a lot of brothers, who's the most evil, profane, wicked person in the world? Do you know if you got bitterness in your heart for your brother, you become Esau? Keep reading. It's going to explain it in this next verse. I'm like using the spirit for saying that, because that's what the point I was going to put out. Read. Everybody want to condemn Esau, right? Esau, he's a damn devil. He's a damn devil. He's a damn devil. But you know the Most High look at you like you Esau when you got bitterness in your heart for your brother. What's this? Read.
Verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
He compared you to Esau. He said bitterness is going to defile you unless you be any profane person like who? Esau. Read.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Uh-huh.
For ye know how afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
So he used Esau as an example of the bitterness that is in your heart. If you have bitterness in your heart for your brother, you become just like Esau, the most profane person. That's what he was saying to you. You got hatred in your heart for your brother, your wickedness is on the level of Esau. And you know brothers love talking about Esau. Then brothers be destroying Esau on the street, and then the Most High be looking at him, he see Esau. Goddamn devil. The Most High looking at you like you a goddamn devil. That's why the scripture says in those days, it says many will go and say, Lord, Lord, did I not prophesy in thy name? He gonna say, get back, Satan, or get back from me, because I never knew you. Never knew you. All because you got bitterness in your heart, your brother for your sister, because that destroys the nation. Watch this. Let's get an example of that. Let's get Genesis 38. Sometimes even little things that you might think is small, minute things, the Most High might look at it as a big thing. Watch this.
The book of Genesis, chapter 38, verse 8.
Anybody know about this story? Let's read.
And Judah said unto Anan.
Anybody know who's Onan is? Who Onan is? Or anybody? Okay, we're gonna find out who he is. Read.
Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her and raise up seed to thy brother.
So now it's a custom in Israel. It's a law, right? And you can find this law. We ain't gotta go there, but if you want, you can look at this law in Deuteronomy 25, 5 through 10. Okay, Deuteronomy 25, 5 through 10. You can find the law of the duty of thy brother's wife. This is where if your brother did not have a child, a man child, right? You would have to raise seed for your brother so his name won't get put out of Israel. Okay, so that's looked at as love for your brother, you know, because now I'm giving my brother from my seed, but it's not mine. It will be my brother's. Even though it came from my body, that's like me. How precious are sons? Sons are precious. So let's say if I have a son, I'm like, man, this is my son. Man, I got one. But then the Most High like, nah, give that to your brother. That son is not going to be under your name. That's going to be under your brother's name. But the son, remember, we went through that, brother. Your son is the beginning of your what? Your strength. So how much humility do you got to have if you have a son, and how much love for your brother do you got to have if you have a son? Because if a man got a multitude of righteous sons, that's a blessed man. You got to be blessed and righteous to be like, man, I'm going to give you one of them. Here, this son is going to be for my brother. So that's love for your brother, right? But now watch what Onan did, read.
Verse 9. And Anan knew that the seed should not be his.
You see, so Anan knew. He was like, man, it's not going to be my kid. Right? Read.
And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife,
So he lay with his brother's wife. It's the duty of thy brother's wife, right? So he lay with her. And what he do?
that he spilled it on the ground.
So now a lot of brothers try to take this and say you can't, excuse me, but brothers try to say that you can't do the pull-out method. That's not what this is saying. The reason why Onan got killed is because he had hatred in his heart for his brother. Watch, we're gonna read.
He spilled it on the ground means that he should give seed to his brother.
You see that? The reason why he got killed, he didn't want to give seed to his brother. It's like, man, I ain't giving seed to my brother. And forget that, man. Why I gotta give seed to him? Now, somebody might say that's little that's little, man. He didn't want to he didn't want to have seed for his brother. He didn't, To somebody just looking on the surface level, that's something small, minute. But the Most High destroyed his ass. What's this, read?
Verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also.
He said, I killed him. He said, oh, that's how you want to do it? He killed him. Onan didn't necessarily commit murder. Onan didn't necessarily, right? If from looking at the outside without understanding the scriptures, you might, dang, the Most High cold. Somebody that don't know the scriptures and know the Most High, dang, he killed him for that? Yeah. Most High killed for little. Most High kill you for a little small thing because that small thing turned into what? A big thing. So what is that saying? If you got hatred for your brother in your heart, Most High requires sometimes blood for that. Not sometimes, he requires blood for that. Onan got killed because he had hatred in his heart for his brother. Let's read this. Let's go from there and let's go to Mark 7:21. Actually, Genesis 37:10. Let's get another example.
Genesis chapter 37, verse 10. And he took it to his father.
Now, can you love your brother if you got jealousy in your heart? Let's get an example of that. Read.
He took it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
So this is dealing with Joseph. So Joseph, he had a dream. Right? Joseph was gifted. Joseph was special. Joseph was favored. You know what his brothers did? They hated Joseph. It all started. I'm going to show y'all how one little leaven, remember we just read that. It says a little bit of leaven. Leaven is the whole lump. Just one little ounce of me being jealous of this brother could spiral and turn into a whole slew of evil. I'm going to show you that. So let's read.
Verse 11. And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying.
It says his brothers envied him. It started with envy. From that little bit of envy, that's why, brothers, we got to practice, man. We got to fight envy, man. Hey, look. The Most High gives the increase to who he wants to. I can't be mad at the young phenom. You understand?
30,000 on
TikTok. Young Thad. He getting 30,000 views on TikTok. I'm like, that nigga ain't all that, though.
He ain't me, though.
That little bit of envy. That little bit. Yeah. They call him a young phenom. Like he's just something.
Yeah. Nazareth think he's going up on Instagram, but I'm better, though.
Nazareth think he got a little following on Instagram. Yeah. It started like that. Go ahead, Doc.
That's just the followers. He getting 100K plus views.
That make it more envious.
So what? That don't matter.
What you say the brother did? He did 7 videos about you? He clout chasing, man. He's
trying to get your clout.
He did 7 videos about you.
You're right. Hey, Jake hates you, huh? Jake hates you, huh? That's that envy. I gotta attack this brother because I'm mad at what he got.
And you have 48 hours of smart. That's crazy.
And that's funny too, because the sister told me about him. Like, hey, watch him. He's trying to stay on top of the rule. It's funny that he did to get all that too.
Because that brother got envy. He better stop it. The Most High gonna destroy his ass. Now, I'm gonna show you what envy looked like. Now, let's say if I had envy to young Thad, right? Thad, he eating over there. The young up and coming generation, they know young Thad. They don't know Rata. They know young Thad. I'm used to people knowing me. Man, people, man, they come. Next thing you know, people coming to BOW looking for Thad. Where that brother that be wearing the head wrap? Where that brother at? And I'm getting mad. Like, brother should be. I'm the leader. Brother should be. And then you know what happens? That envy turns into a plan to try to stop this man. You know what, young Thad? Until you pass this certain test, you need to stop going live. You know what, Thad? I need you to stop doing that, bro. You need to get rooted in the word. In my heart, I'm really winking, but I'm using the Bible. You need to get rooted in the word before you. I need you to slow that down. Why in my right mind would I slow that man's increase down like that? Hatred. Then Thad, guess what? Then Thad overcome that. Thad overcomes that. I'm like, damn, this nigga keep overcoming. He passed the test. Now he going back live and now he got 200,000 views. Now I say, you know what, Thad? It's not beneficial. You should stop doing it on TikTok and just do it on this platform. I try to make you start over. Why don't you start over? Why don't you just start all over? Just do a YouTube channel. Get off of TikTok. See, now the envy I have for this man is making me and trying to cause me to stop this man and what he got. You see how envy can destroy you? Exactly. Forget the sheep. Because it ain't about the sheep. Forget all of the young people that's 17, 15 that's watching this man. Forget his influence, man. That's a hell of an influence to have on this younger generation today. Forget all of that. I want to stop him because I hate him. There you go. But you really hate your brother. Go ahead.
No matter what, you can't. Your hatred within yourself for a righteous person, you can't stop the work of the Most High. You can try to stop a righteous man from doing the work. His work will increase by your wickedness.
And
without you even knowing, the Most High is dealing with you and increasing that righteous brother or sister.
Did it not happen to David? No matter what Saul thought to, it don't matter what Saul did. Even when David messed up, the Most High still increased him. That's envy. Oh, and then don't let the sister start coming looking for that.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, it's over. When the sister start coming, then the brother. Oh, now the women. You know when the teapot go. For real. I'm getting mad. So one day we had a feast, and I'm just looking at that. I'm in the corner of the kitchen.
Y'all seen Belly? Y'all seen Belly? You remember that part? Dude, that had the. I don't like that shit. I ain't feeling that. Hey, Dad, get to the views. I ain't feeling that.
For real, hey. That's a perfect example. Hey, that's a instead of having love for your brothers, right? Instead of having love for your brothers, and watch this, taking young Thad, taking Calvert, because Calvert's another one, taking Nazareth, taking all these brothers that got these gifts, taking the gift Ariel has and what he's good at, and not being jealous Ariel can cook, taking what each brother has and magnifying it and making us stronger as a core. Now, instead of one David, you got a multiple of Davids. You understand? Instead of, I want to be Malcolm X, you got a tribe of Malcolm X's. Now, how much stronger is our camp? What?
Salakia, it's a comment. It said, Khan, I love Thaddeus and how he bring the word out in all his lives in his Bible study.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the most. Hey, now if I was wicked, I'd be like, delete that. Don't even tell that brother he getting hell no. Get that comment out of here. But block that person too. Get him out of here. But the point is, you can't have that type of hatred for your brother. And here, God forbid, I pray to the Most High, He never allows that type of spirit to get on me because it would defile you. Y'all see that? So this is the spirit that Joseph's brothers had, and what ended up happening. Let's finish reading that.
Verse 11. And his brothers envied him, but his father observed his hand. And his brothers went to feed their flocks in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brothers feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto them, here I am. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he went in out.
No.
What is that?
Pages.
You got these messed up pages.
It's all good. 15, I think he was at.
Of the vale of Hebron,
Uh-huh.
and he came to Shechem, and a certain man found him.
So now David is looking for his brothers, right? But remember Joseph, excuse me. Now remember, they hated Joseph. But Joseph really got love for us. So he's looking for his brothers. Like, where my brothers at, right? Now, watch this. Let's skip down. Let's get to the point. Let's read verse 18.
Verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another.
So they had so much envy and hate. They was like, man, how can we kill this person? That's how much hate that they end up having. It went from a little small leaven of envy to now hatred. Now was they flesh and blood brother. See how that little bit of leaven caused them. And watch what they did though. Read.
Verse 19. And they said one another, behold, this dreamer cometh.
That's what the nickname they gave. You know when people hate on you, they give you the nickname. Oh, here come him, Mr. TikTok. Here come Mr. TikTok. You understand? That's what they start giving you. You know that here comes the young. Hey guys, look, here's the young phenom. That's how you know when you can sense the envy on people. Look at him. Here's the phenom. What's up, young phenom? See that? Which I credit myself for giving him that name. Nah, I'm missing. Hey, you see that? That's what they say. Here comes the dreamer. Oh, here he comes. Here comes that dreamer. You know, when people envy your gift, they always downplay your gift with a nickname. They mock your gift. They mock it. That's when you know a brother hates you. When they mock your gift. Here's these brothers. Here they come. Oh, they're this such and such. That's how you know. So this is what Joseph and his brothers are doing, right? His brothers are doing that. Read.
Verse 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit.
They said they wanted to kill him and throw him in a pit. How much hate do you got to have for your brother? God damn. You don't even give him a... Y'all don't even... We got to do I could do a whole lesson on proper burial. They didn't even want to give him a proper burial. They like, let's kill him and just throw him in a pit. Do you know back in the day how when one of our forefathers died that we carried their bodies with us? Did y'all know that? Huh?
You did that with your whole son?
We buried
Con, they had, yeah, they was buried with their parents. You buried in the land of where your forefathers are. So can you imagine how we felt, how they must have felt? Let's kill him and then throw him in a pit and forget about him and say he lost. We don't know. That's how much hate they have for their brother. Watch this, read.
And we will say some evil beast have devoured him.
And some dog or animal killed him. So you know, think about the mind of his brothers or where they at. Now, if a beast kill you, that means that you can't just give him a little small knife cut. How you make it look like a beast killed you? You gotta tear his ass up. You gotta cut him up. You gotta think about the mind. They said we're gonna say some beast did it. How does a beast, when a lion eating you, that means you gotta rip you apart. I mean, we gotta take your arm off. We gotta cut your leg. We gotta take your spleen out. We gotta give you the face dismantle. That's what they thought to do to their brother. Y'all see this? The baby brother. That's some, and these is our forefathers. So if it's in them, you know it's still in us today. This is Judah. Not Judah yet. Judah's a baby, I believe. But this is not Reuben, but this is Simeon. This is Levi. This is Gad.
It's everybody.
It's everybody.
Everybody but Benjamin.
I mean, yeah, I mean Benjamin.
Benjamin
Benjamin was
was
a
a
baby
baby.
brother, not Judah. Excuse me. Benjamin wasn't born yet. But this is everybody but Benjamin. So so some of y'all take pride in these tribes. I'm Ephraim. Ephraim was a damn devil right here. I mean, not Ephraim. I'm sorry. Levi. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Simeon. Gad. Not Reuben. Reuben tried to save him. Zebulon. Yeah. Excuse me, brother. Yeah. Ephraim wasn't there yet either. But these are the same forefathers that we come from. So if that hate was in them, don't ever get it twisted to think the hate is not in our brothers. You understand? He said that some beast may kill him. Read.
Devour him.
Devour him. Mm-hmm.
And we shall see what will become of his dream. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands.
See, so Reuben was actually the one. This is where you get the dignity from, brothers. Remember that? It don't got nothing to do with phylacteries. All right, you know, when they when they try to take the little chart breakdown out, Reuben had dignity because of this. He tried to save his brother. Now let's skip down real quick. Let's read let's read 29. So they threw him in a pit. All right, Reuben ended up convincing them not to kill him. They threw him in a pit. Let's read verse 29.
29. As Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes.
Right. So Joseph was stolen out of the pit. Read.
And he returned unto his brothers and said, the child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in blood.
So they didn't try to go look for him. They didn't try to hunt him down. You know, they're nomadic people. You don't think they know the terrain enough to try to find him? But instead of trying to find him, it was like, oh, this is perfect then. Let's take the blood, make it seem like something. Now we don't even got to look for him. Did they care about the pain that this was going to bring their father? Did they care about the pain that this was going to bring the rest of their people? Yeah, but damn, did they care about their father? No, they didn't, because watch what happened. Read.
Verse 32. And they sent a coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat. And evil beasts have devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted.
So did they care about their father?
They tried to comfort him after they did that.
That's snake. They the ones responsible, and they tried to comfort him after that.
That's like somebody killing you and coming to the funeral. I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna show up to the funeral and hug your mom.
I'm so sorry for you.
That's a different kind of hate.
That's a different kind of hate. Man, that's a different kind of hate. Come to the funeral after he offed you and hug your mom?
That's Tupac on Jews, huh?
Yeah, that's Tupac on Jews.
Oh.
Yeah, cold. I killed you and I'm gonna come to your funeral and hug your mama. That's hatred. That right there, you see the type of hatred, and it all started for one little bit of, just a little bit of leaven. And that leaven at this point turned out to be envy. Let's go from there and let's read. And I see it. I see the sister. She said Reuben didn't have dignity because he slept with one of his father's concubines. I suggest sis, you go watch the 12 tribe chart breakdown that I did. It'll give you clarity on why Reuben had dignity. Not only did he try to save Joseph, but he also was the firstborn, right? The beginning of his father's strength. Okay. And he did end up getting the birthright taken from him because he laid with his father's concubine. But all in all, he did show dignity, and in that he was the firstborn. That's why he told his brothers, what have I to do with this? Because I'm the firstborn. I'm supposed to be the one watching everything. All right. So go back and watch that understanding, sis. But it definitely don't have to do with no Indians wearing phylacteries. All right. They dignity because they wearing phylacteries. And they dignity because they didn't sign a peace treaty. All right. All nations bow down to Esau. But yeah, go watch
and
that.
They did sign peace.
And they did, yeah. And what they say, the Seminoles, the Seminoles did sign a peace treaty. So that 12 tribe chart breakdown is garbage. Yeah, go check that out, sis. Go check that out. All right. So let's go from there. Let's go from there, and let's get Mark 7 and 21. Let's go there. Let me speed it up a little bit. All right. So everybody following me? Brothers ain't got no hate or envy right now, right? You good? Brothers, all right? Hey.
The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 21. For from within, out of the heart of man proceeding evil thoughts.
So the heart of man proceed what? Evil thoughts. So before you can commit any type of crime against the law, you got to have an evil thought first. Did we not see that with Cain and Abel? Cain started off with a thought, and that ended up turning into, I'm about to kill him. You understand? Watch this, read. So out of the man's mind, out of his heart, comes evil thoughts, read.
Adulteries, fornications, murders, thieves, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye.
An evil eye, that goes into that jealousy, an evil eye. Covetousness, all of that stuff. All of that deals with jealousy. Man, why that brother wife look like that, man? That brother got two beautiful wives. Putting extras on it because I want y'all to understand. And I'm looking. I end up envying the brother looking at his wife, and then that turns into looking at the beauty of his wife and going into other thoughts. And what did I do? I just committed hatred. Our brother can see a brother with a beautiful wife and be like, dang, that sister gorgeous. He don't stop, and he keep thinking. Now that turns into, how can I get close to her in a feast and talk to her? You know what? What department is that sister in? I'm gonna get in that department. Now give me a reason. The brother trusts you, so the brother like, hey, you know what, brother? I gotta drop something off at your house. Is it cool? I gotta get something to your wife for the feast department. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You go to the brother's house. Hey sis, I just want to drop this off for the feast department. Hey, you got something to drink? Can I come in? That's hatred. But it all started for a thought. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if you look at another man's wife with lust, you have already committed the adultery in your heart. That means you already defiled. You see that? This is all, and you can find all of this in Israel right now. You got some Israelite men that'll go be in a sister inbox and try to get a sister to not marry another brother. And you know what they're going to say? Well, that brother ain't in the truth technically because he don't got my doctrine. That's wicked as hell. Do y'all know how wicked that shit is? I'm about to be honest. Do y'all know how wicked that is? I'm going to get in the sister inbox. She going to say, well, I'm married. Well, technically, his doctrine is off. So technically, he ain't in the truth. So technically, you can leave him. It happens. It happens. Instead of going to the brother, talking to the brother. This is wickedness for your brother too. Talking to a sister. Well, the sister, her husband in the world anyway, so I can try to get her. Her husband not in the truth anyway. That's wicked. Why would you not talk to the brother to try to get him in the truth? That means you really hate your brother, because why are you sharing the truth for her but not your brother? So you want to share the truth for her, convince her to leave her husband because he in the world, but you don't even know that man's heart. You don't know if he's gonna repent. But you don't want to give him that chance to repent. So you just deal with her, try to convince her to leave him. He wicked anyway, sister, so you should just leave him. This stuff happens in the truth. This stuff happens in the truth. If I'm lying, I'm done, and I'm not lying because it's all over Israel right now. This is hatred. You think Yahweh Shai gonna come back with Israel like we are right now? We got another 1,000 years. But nah, scratch that. The Most High just gonna start wiping stuff out. I almost said the other word. He's gonna start just wiping because brothers ain't getting it together. Most High said, all right. When I come back, I'm slaying all the wicked. All of this stuff, right? Let's keep reading. What's this?
The evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within.
They come from where?
Within.
It comes from within. Where does evil start? Within. Yeah. And it does what, Reed?
And defile the man.
And defile the man. So how are you first defiled? Yeah. Love is keeping the commandments. I'm going to tell you why that's flawed. Because anybody can outwardly keep the commandments. Does that mean that you love me? No. In here, you know a nigga don't love you when he try to sleep with your wife. You know a man don't love you when he trying to envy you and trying to keep you below and trying to keep you from certain things. You know a man don't really got love for you when he backbiting against you and tear-bearing against you instead of coming to you with it. You know a man don't love you when he do that. I don't love this man right here. When I'm going to Calvert talking about this man, he's supposed to be my right-hand man. I'm going to Calvert talking about him. You know what? Brother Iran, yeah. Calvert like, whoa, I thought you and Iran was good. Nah, I don't really know. I can't get with that brother Sultan, man. He wanted to go to Avalon today, and I wanted to go to Slauson. Am I lying? That's how it happened. I don't really love. You don't really love your brother when you do that, right? And you defile yourself. Now let's get this. Let's get a couple more. Let's go to James 3:14.
Book of James, chapter 3, verse 14. It says, But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth.
It says, if you have any bitterness in your heart. Now, this is a deep one. I want y'all to pay attention to this one. Read that one more time.
From the top. Verse 14. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your heart.
If you have any problem in your heart with your brother, anything, it could be something small. It could be, you know what, I didn't like when that brother talked to me like that, and now I'm mad about it. Any little thing, right? What did it say, Read?
Glory not.
It says, glory not, Read.
And lie not against the truth.
It says, don't lie against it. Don't downplay it. The best thing you can do is if you got a problem with a sister is to tell that sister, sis, I got a problem with that. Because if you lie against that and you keep that held up in you, it's going to manifest into the other 7 deadly sins because they all work together. Because watch this. I'm going to show you that. If you got love in your heart, what follows after love?
Peace.
Peace. What else? Humbleness. What else? Charity. What else? Long suffering. What else? Meekness. All of that follows if you have love in your heart. But now if you have hatred in your heart, what follows after that? If you got anger in your heart towards your brother, what follows after that? Murder, bitterness, jealousy, envy, and it spirals off. All of them are connected. You cannot have one without the other. Jealousy and hate work together. Love and peace work together. So the best thing you should do is, that's why I like to be honest with you guys. I always be honest with you guys, and I'll tell you, it's not going to always be good. It's not. I will be lying to everybody in their face right now if I told them it's going to be good. I'll be lying to you. But that means that I'm setting it up for an issue of love because now it's open season to talk about it. Love each other through it. You know what? And sometimes at the end of the day, I don't agree with you. But you know what? Let's move forward. And the nation of Israel does not practice that. On Facebook, they do not practice that. Camps that hate camps do not practice that. Brothers do not practice this in the nation of Israel as a whole. Instead, what brothers do is they go and they attack each other on lives. And call each other bitch ass niggas on lives. And then say, nigga, pull up. I'm ready to give you the hands on live. That's what brothers do, and that's not right. The hell we gonna scare Esau with an army when Esau like they can still fight themselves?
I just posted that today. Y'all seen that video I posted? The Ku Klux Klan members?
Oh yeah.
He said, I just dropped guns off
Oh, I
in the
seen that.
neighborhood and let them kill themselves.
Uh.
And then I go home and watch it like a pay-per-view fight and laugh.
We need to let the hood see that video.
And the hood, but you know, even if they see it, they don't care. Because they got so much hate in their heart, the hood don't care.
Well, I seen it. Cuz ain't from my hood. So what? Fuck him. He ain't from my hood, cuz. Remember they put up on us?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm from people too, but just fuck the crowd though. What?
Exactly.
Right.
That don't even make no sense.
Right. How does that even make sense? But that was that day we got banged on?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
that.
that was it.
I'm for my own people, but F the crabs though.
Makes no sense at all. Double-minded man.
You gonna be pro your people or not? Can't be both.
See that? That's crazy.
Sisters gotta watch. Look, sisters too, not just the brother sisters too. Form a hatred for your sister too. You sisters gotta accept that guys have to love your sister. Another beautiful sister come in this house. Sister start giving her the evil eye because she pretty. I've seen it. Start telling your husband every time he around her, babe, let's go.
She too bad, huh? Nah.
She's too flawless. She too flawless. Brother in the kitchen having a conversation. Let's go. No, we're leaving. Sister started inviting all the sisters to her house except that sister. Sister ain't gave no reason for nobody to hate her, but just because she pretty. Yeah, sisters got that hate too. Real bad. Ain't just the brothers, sisters too. Not like that, sis, but I wouldn't wrap my head like that. It's all right, sis, but sister got envious because the sister can sew good. That's all right, but I wouldn't sew it like that. But it worked for the sister. Yet the sister jealous, so now she gotta try to find some way to critique the sister and tell the sister that she wrong for whatever it is. Why you cook your food like that? You should cook it the way I cook it. That's hatred. So it's in the brothers and it's in the sisters, and it's gonna call you to be destroyed if you have any of these traits. Let's read. Let's go from there. Let's go to Psalm 15 and 2. Speed up a little bit.
The book of Psalms, chapter 15, verse 2. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart.
And what?
Speaketh the truth in his heart.
Speaketh the truth in his heart. Why did it say him that speaketh the truth in his heart? Why did it say that? Exactly. Say it again, Dad. Right. What can be real? What can being honest with yourself inside do for you? It can help you repent. It can help you change. It can help you stop. I'm gonna use you again, Thad. Every time Thad go live, I catch this brother in the corner salty. What's wrong with you, brother? I'm good. I'm good. You good? And I'm like, because I notice every time this brother do like a video on his TikTok, and you be watching it, but I can tell you be kind of salty. You good? No, I'm good. I'm straight. Don't do that to yourself. Be honest. You know what? Yeah, man, I am a kind of a little jealous every time Thad go live. That's good. You know why? Because the scripture says if you confess your faults, you have what? Mercy. Mercy. You know what, man? And then a brother can say, you know what? Let me holler at you, man. Let me ease you up. Let me see what's up with you. Let me talk to you. Let me help you get that spirit up off you. But you got to be honest with yourself. Because if not, that little bit of leaven can cause hatred. The same way. These are all real things that happen in real time. You got to be truthful with yourself. Read that one more time.
Verse 2. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor.
So see that? So it's evil to do that to your neighbor. Because normally, eventually, it's gonna come out. Eventually, you're gonna, if you have any type of traits like that towards your brother or your sister, eventually you're not gonna be able to contain it. Eventually, you're gonna have to vent to somebody. Eventually. And then what that creates is backbiting and tailbearing. And then that's hatred for your brother. And you the Most High pleased with that? Let's get another one. Let's get real quick. Let's get into Psalms. Let's go to Proverbs 16 and 28.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 28. A forward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends.
You see that? So now what happens is you got people that are close friends, and then the whisperer or the person that got a problem with another individual, you might have three good friends. Let's say you got three good friends, right? One friend got a problem with another friend. They all three good friends, but one friend got a problem with another friend. That friend that got a problem with the other friend turns into a whisper. He talks to the friend that's in the middle of them. Hey man, have you noticed that such and such does that? Then that friend says, you know what, I did notice that. Yeah, that brother do be doing that. Instead of going to the brother, talking to the brother, they just whisper amongst themselves. So now the brother, the other friend, he don't know what's going on. He come in the house, he like, hey, what up, what up? Both the brothers like, oh, what up, bro? Oh, what's up, bro? What happened? Now, once was friends, the whisper then called that to what? Is the scriptures real or what? See that? All of these things breathe forth hatred, which brings forth sin. Backbiting, all of those things, and that's not love. See, but if you got love, how can you have any of these attributes? You can't. And then if you got love, it builds the nation. It builds the nation. Let's go to 1 John 4 and 18.
Book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 18. There is no fear in love.
There's no what?
There is no fear in love.
Why is there no fear in love?
But perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment.
So why is it saying there's no fear in love? Because you only have fear when you do something wrong. I stole from the brother. Hey, don't tell the brother though. Don't tell the But if you got love, you ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about fear. Read.
Because fear hath torment. He that feared is not made perfect in love. We love him because he loved us first.
This is how you know you're doing something wrong. If you're scared that somebody's going to find out, you're doing something wrong. Anytime you do something and you're hiding it so nobody can find out, you're doing something wrong. But see, your mind will trick you. Well, you ain't really doing nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just keeping it from people. But if you keep, because if you really love, do you got to hide anything? You got to hide nothing from this man. I don't have nothing to hide. I don't have nothing to fear. When you hide your emotions, when you hide certain things, that means that there's something that's not right being done. You got to correct that stuff within yourself, or else you can lead to those other attributes. Let's go from there. Let's get 1 Peter 4 and 8. And then after that, we're gonna get Romans 12 and 9.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
Charity shall cover the multitudes of sins. You can't have charity without what? Without love. It says charity cover the multitude of sins. I know we be like, man, when we go out there and do the works, we covering sins. But if you just got charity, all praises, it's charity. The classes in the house, that's charity. I'm hoping the Most High can take some of my sins off. You understand? One day, young boy, he gonna just want to have some charity, bring a whole bunch of deviled eggs to the school. and go make sure everybody gets some. Charity, that's love. That means he's thinking about his brother. That's why I asked y'all, look, for the Sabbath, brothers bring something. Brothers bring something. That's charity. That's love. Why would you? I feel like, well, I gotta bring something. But then to be the first one eating, first one in the kitchen with the plate, but ain't brung nothing to the Sabbath. And mad when a brother call you on it. Hey, you always the first in line. Can you bring something next week? And that brother gonna tell me to bring something. Yeah, charity, right? Let's go to Romans 12:9.
Book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 9. It says, let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly, affection one to another.
So it says, let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that, to what is good, to that which is good. So don't love only because you're getting something in return. You know what we call that? That's fake love. You know why marriages fail? Because he only loved you because he wanted your body, sisters. And then once he got it, he started hating you. Because he really didn't love you. He just loved you because you gave him something. You want somebody to love you when you don't get nothing in return. I'm not getting paid for having Sabbath class in the house. We're not getting paid for none of this. But we love you, so we're going to keep going. And then last but not least, let's get Proverbs 17:17.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. It says, the highway of the upright is the depart from evil. He that keepeth his way.
Is that Proverbs 17:17? I'm sorry.
My bad. 17. A friend loveth at all times.
Sometimes.
At all times.
Only when you make me happy.
At all times.
Only when you do something nice for me.
At all times.
I only love my brother when he give me some money.
At all times.
I only love my wife when she only cook and shut up.
At all times.
No, you love at all times. You love at all times. You know what? The brother yelled at me. He having a bad day. I still love him. I'm going to talk to him when he calms down. That's love. I got to commend this brother right here. Because I ain't going to lie to y'all. Rata is not always the easiest to deal with. Rata sometimes can be very aggressive. This brother loved me. Because he'll take it on the chin. And then he'll come back later like, nah, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? When I'm calmed down, when I'm level-headed, he can be like, nah, I wasn't cool with that. Then I got to be like, oh, damn. Now, if I didn't have love in turn for him, I'd be like, man up. Man up. You was mad at that? Nah, I say, oh, shit, my bad. I really didn't. My fault. I'm sorry. But then the key is not to do it again. Understand? But you got to love at all times. You got to love even when your brother going off. Like that Jay going off. But I still love the Jay though. If we all do that, how can we fail? How can BOW fail? How can Israel fall? Let's finish that off.
Verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
A brother is born for adversity. Y'all know what adversity means? I'm your brother with thick and thin. You know who was a great example of that? David was. Even though David got away from Saul, David mourned when Saul died. David still loved Saul.
He killed the messenger. He said, the nerve of you going to tell me that you killed the beloved of Israel? Slay him. Having slayed right away.
So the power of love is if we get rid of all of those attributes of evil, how can we fail? We can't. That's the power. We win every time with one simple word, love. All right. And that'll be it. All right, everybody. That's it. Shalom to everybody that's online. I'm happy that everybody tuned in. I see a lot of love. Praises. And you guys have a blessed Sabbath. And we'll be back at you next week for another class at 2:00. Man, love you, brothers and sisters. Please like, subscribe, and share the content. Yeah, we had that wow. Like, share, and subscribe if you guys like the content, and we love you, brothers and sisters. Y'all have a beautiful Sabbath. All right. Remember, love, family, love. All right. Shalom. I don't know.